Hey, I'm Miley from Venice. Before you listen to my story, please click like and subscribe. Ever since I was born, my parents were just busy in their own world, and they sometimes forgot I existed. When I was 3, my parents were getting ready to go out for their anniversary dinner, but minutes later, they walked out the door and left me home all by myself. I ran to the window and started yelling out loud, and that's when they came back running. "Oh God, what are you still doing here? You're making us late."
"But you forgot me, Mommy."
"Come on, no time to talk. Hurry up."
This kind of stuff happened all the time. Then once when I was in 4th grade, I invited them for my annual day function. I was playing the role of a princess and was super excited for Mom and Dad to see me. But like always, they didn't show up. I was so pissed. The other kids were taking pictures with their family while I was standing there all alone. And I finally lost it. I decided to walk back home by myself. As I was passing a sandwich stall, I saw a girl a little younger than me trying to steal a sandwich.
"Hey, no, you can't do that. Stealing things is bad." "But I'm very hungry, and I haven't eaten for days."
I saw tears in her eyes, and she did look like she was having a rough time, so I offered to pay for both our sandwiches. Her name was Lucy, and when I asked her about her family, she told me the most shocking thing.
"I don't have a family. I lived in an orphanage, but the caretaker was so evil. She made us work a lot and didn't even give us any food. So I ran away."
It broke my heart to see her so sad, and I asked her to come with me. I have parents, not the best, but at least I can promise you a home. Besides, I've always wanted to have a sister. Suddenly, her eyes lit up and she hugged me. Later, when we reached home, I asked Mom and Dad to adopt Lucy, but they refused straight to my face.
"But Mom, I really want a sister. You guys barely have time for me, so..."
"So you picked a thief from the streets? Not happening." They took Lucy back to the orphanage, and I cried my heart out. I wouldn't even eat or sleep, and I'd run off to the orphanage and wait for Lucy outside every day. Seeing me this way, my parents finally gave in and agreed to officially adopt Lucy. And I was the happiest. And in no time, we were like real sisters. Soon after, Lucy was starting school with me. And even though she was nervous, I promised I'd be there for her all the time. But the moment we entered, we fell in the eyes of Diana, the meanest girl in the school.
"Hey, Miley, is that your new adopted sister? Ew, what garbage dump did you pick her up from? She stinks like a skunk's butt." "Shut up, Diana, or I'm gonna kick your butt right now."
Ugh, cut it out, Miley, and send her back. I don't think orphans like her belong with us rich people. My mom told me they're just the filth of society. That was it. I pushed her away and she fell to the ground. But when I turned to Lucy, she was already gone. Later, when I went home, I hugged her. "It doesn't matter what anyone says, okay? You're my sister and I'll always love you." After that, I took a necklace from my pocket and put it around her neck.
"What's this?"
"Open it."
"OMG, it's our pictures. You're the best, Miley. I love you."
And I really loved her too. Days passed and I was always there to watch over Lucy. No one was gonna mess around with her as long as I was around. Then one day in 8th grade, we were given a math test when I suddenly looked up to see Lucy passing some sheets to Diana through the window. What the crackling crabs? I didn't want her to be caught by the teacher, so I kept quiet. But later when I went to the cafeteria, I saw Lucy at a table surrounded by Diana and her minions. What was this witch up to now? What's going on here? Leave my sister alone, you witch.
No, Miley, she's my friend, and we're just having lunch together."
"Friend? Are you crazy? She's a bully. Stay away from her." Ooh, it looks like someone's really possessive. And it's not like I threatened her to hang out with me. She wants to be friends with the cool kids. What is she talking about, Lucy? You come with me right now. You're not staying with these girls another second. I tried pulling Lucy away, but she brushed off my hand roughly.
"No, I'm not going anywhere. And please, don't embarrass me in front of my friends. I'm not a baby."
I couldn't believe my ears. My sister was fighting me for some bully? Later, when Lucy came home, I tried to talk to her, but she wouldn't listen.
"She's not bad, okay?
She saved me from other mean girls in the washroom once and asked me to join her gang. Now I'm cool like them, don't you see? She's turning you into a bad person like her. I saw you helping her cheat today, Lucy, and that's not cool. But my words had no effect on her. And after that, she started hanging around with Diana all the time. She'd be carrying around Diana's books, bringing her food, wiping the table clean for her. It was so annoying. She even missed my birthday and went shopping with Diana. And when I saw her pictures on Diana's account, Lucy was carrying loads of bags after her like a maid. Why was she such a doormat? A few days later during recess, I walked into the girls' bathroom and to my shock, I found Lucy ripping a little girl's notebook and throwing them in the toilet while Diana and her minions were watching. What are you doing, Lucy? Have you lost your mind? Drop that book right now. Ooh, here comes the bossy older sister. She just wants to tame you and put you on a leash like a dog. Do you want that, Lucy? Or do you want to be your own master? Listening to Diana's words, Lucy looked at me and ripped the book in half.
She's right. You're not my mother, Miley. You're not even my real sister, so don't tell me what to do. Got it?
How dare you? I always thought of you as my sister, but I think I made a mistake. I should have left you in that orphanage and never brought you home. You're a monster. I tried to pull the little girl out of there, but Lucy jumped on me and we broke into a wild cat fight. Just then, one of the other girls shouted that a teacher was coming, so they all ran away, leaving me on the floor. I was so done with Lucy now. That stupid bully was no longer my sister. Lucy would sneak out of the house at night all the time, and I couldn't care less. But then one morning, she didn't come back home. And when I went downstairs, Mom was furious. That devil child. She's at school and was caught trying to steal something. What? No way. We immediately drove to the school and saw Lucy sitting in tears in the office. Diana was there too, looking bored. The security guards had caught Lucy stealing final exam question papers from the principal's office. But I didn't want to do it. Diana made me do it. Seriously? I don't even know your name. And how could I make you do anything? You're just some loser. And I wouldn't even keep you around to wipe my shoes. Ugh, this witch. But there was no proof against Diana. So she walked free and Lucy was expelled. As she ran out of the office crying, I tried to stop her, but she pushed me aside.
You just want to say I told you so, right?
Well, don't. Just leave me alone. I didn't follow her. She'd brought this on herself. And maybe when she was less upset, she'd realize it. But when I went back home, I was shocked to find that all of Lucy's things were gone. She'd just left without a word. I tried looking for her for weeks and months, but didn't find her anywhere. Soon after, I left for college where I met John. We fell madly in love and got married soon after. My married life was perfect. But a few years later, I discovered that I could never have children. Both me and John were devastated by the news. And as years passed, things started to get worse. On our 5th anniversary, I cooked John's favorite dinner and waited for him to come home, but he didn't show up at all. And the next morning, the doorbell rang, and I found 2 kids about 3 years old holding a letter addressed to me. Miley, please forgive me, but I can't take care of these kids anymore. I've lost all my money and I'm in debt and I have to leave. Please don't look for me. I stared at John's handwriting in complete shock, and now he was running away and leaving them with me? Oh my God, that jerk! I immediately took the kids to the police, and it turned out they were my husband's kids, and their mom passed away some time ago. The cops decided to send these kids to the orphanage, and that instantly reminded me of Lucy. My heart sank thinking how awful her orphanage was. And without thinking, I suddenly yelled, "No, I'll adopt them." And in no time, the kids moved in to live with me. Their names were Dan and Dean, and they were adorable. The first night, I fell asleep next to them. A few hours later, I woke up to crazy sounds. I rushed downstairs and saw them banging on pots and laughing. Quiet! Are you both babies or devils? They both dropped everything and ran towards me.
Sorry, we play.
I instantly melted. Later, I took them out shopping for toys and clothes. When we came home, they were both full of smiles and even kissed me. It just warmed my heart like nothing before. My life felt perfect. A few years passed, and the kids forgot they had another mother before me. Then once when Dean was in the 3rd grade, I found him crying in his room. Oh, honey, what happened? He told me there was some guy in his class who was bullying him. He even had bruises on his face. Oh, baby, I'll talk to the principal and his mom, and you'll be fine. Mom's got you. The next day at the parent-teacher meeting, I waited for the kids to point the bully's mom out to me. When they did, I went ahead and tapped her on the shoulder. "Excuse me, is that your kid?" I turned around, and my jaw dropped. "Miley? Lucy?" Oh my God. We just stared at each other in shock, and then I spoke. "Was it your kid who bullied my son?" "What? Not possible. My son is an angel." "Oh, really? Then why does he steal my kids' lunch and hit them? Is that what you're teaching him?" "How I raise my son is none of your business, bossy pants. If my kid gets hurt, it is my business. Keep your kid away from them." I walked off quickly before she made a scene. But on our way back home, I couldn't stop thinking about Lucy. She looked so different and pretty, but I didn't have anything to do with her now. A few days later, the kids insisted on me taking them to the school carnival. When we got there, they ran off to have fun with their friends, and I got busy with the other mothers. But moments later, we heard a loud noise, and my heart jumped when we saw a huge fire had broken out in one of the tents. I started looking for the kids and found Dean immediately, but Dan was missing. I was shouting his name and looking everywhere, but what I saw next shocked me. Lucy was there, and she was walking out of flames with Dan in her arms. Oh my God, what happened? Is he okay? I hugged Dan tight and then saw Lucy's hand. It was all burned by the flames. I stayed by her side as the medical team bandaged her hand, and then I spoke. "Lucy, I can't ever thank you enough for what you did. But why'd you risk your life for my kid?"
"'Cause he's your son and you love him."
"And I owe you a lot for what you've done for me." And then my eyes went straight to the locket she was wearing. It was the same necklace I'd given to Lucy ages ago. You kept it all these years? Why?" She remained silent, but tears fell from her eyes. And I just hugged her. "Oh, Lucy, why did you run away? I looked for you everywhere, but you were nowhere to be found. I was just so ashamed of myself, all the things I did, and I was horrible to you. I thought I'd ruined our relationship forever, and I couldn't face you anymore. But I've missed you so much. You picked up an orphan like me from the streets and loved me like family, but I threw it all away. I'm so sorry, Miley. Please forgive me. Already done. You're my sister, and I'll always love you. Come here." Hi, I'm Claire from New York. Please like and subscribe. I lived with my amazing single mom who had a tough time raising me on her own. As I grew older, I was determined to work hard and give her a good life one day. I got into a great high school on full scholarship and helped her out by waitressing on weekends. One evening, I was dashing like crazy at the subway station. I was so late for my shift. Suddenly, I bumped straight into someone, but I just shouted an apology and ran off to my train. Just as I was about to get on, someone gently took my hand. I turned around to see the most gorgeous boy ever. "Hey, you dropped this." He placed something in my hand, and I gasped. It was my bracelet. "Thank you so much. I would have been devastated if I'd lost this. I'm so glad I found you. No, you found me. I mean, the bracelet." His smile went all the way up to his warm brown eyes. "You're welcome. Do you think we could maybe..." Just then the door started closing and I shouted, "Sorry, gotta go," as the train pulled away. I felt like such an idiot. I didn't even ask for his name. For the next couple of months, I kept hoping I'd bump into him on the way to work, but no such luck. Summer break was over, and I was really looking forward to seeing my best friend Tessa, who'd been away on vacation. We hugged excitedly, and she put her arm through mine as we walked to class. There's so much I have to tell you. But first, did you ever find the train guy again? No. It sounds stupid, Tess, but we had an instant connection. He almost asked me out, and now he just disappeared.
Aw, Claire.
We'll hunt the whole city down till we find him. Now come on, let me introduce you to my new boyfriend, David. She walked up to a tall guy, and when he turned around, my heart almost stopped. It was the freaking train guy! He didn't seem to recognize me as Tessa introduced us, telling me how their dads were friends and they'd met on vacation. His family had recently moved to our town, so he'd joined our school now. Of all the guys in the world, Tessa had to meet him? The first class we had that day was English literature, and to my dismay, the teacher chose me and David to read out something from Shakespeare. I picked out a scene from Romeo and Juliet, but David muttered loudly, "Jeez, kill me now."
What, you don't like it?
No. It's a story about two people who were so dumb. I was happy when they died. It's so lame.
Oh, is that your expert opinion as a world-famous writer?
No, it's my expert opinion as someone with good taste. It's not romantic, it's stupid.
Dying for love is stupid?
The dumbest.
You have the emotional depth of a teaspoon.
At least I have a brain. But fine, you want me to be stupid Romeo? I'll do it.
No, I don't want to now. I pulled the book away from him as he held onto it tight, and suddenly we both fell down, ripping it in half. Everyone was staring at us, and the teacher told us to go back to our seats. Ugh, this guy was so annoying. It wasn't a great start, but because of Tessa, we both made an effort to be nicer. And I wanted to hate him, but I really couldn't. He was smart, funny, sweet. He was kind of perfect. For Tessa, of course. Some months later, we had a big calculus assignment to work on, but when I went to the library, only David was there. He told me Tessa wasn't feeling well, and I sat down awkwardly. As we got busy working, I suddenly noticed David looking at my notebook.
You're doing it the wrong way. My answer is the same as yours. But why use such a long method when there's a shortcut?
Because shortcuts lead to mistakes.
Watch and learn.
He pulled his chair closer and started scribbling away. I could hardly focus. Gosh, he smelled so good.
There, done.
Okay, you're a genius. I'm calling it a day. I gathered my stuff and started to leave, but he followed me.
Have I offended you? Why does it always seem like you're mad at me?
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Am not.
Just tell me, Claire, why are you angry at me?
Suddenly, the words just came spilling out. Because you didn't remember me.
Wait, what?
Nothing. It's nothing. I'll see you around. And with that, I ran off. Why did I have to say such a dumb thing? A few weeks later, we had the spring dance at school, and I accepted when a boy from class, Eric, asked me to go with him. I was actually having a pretty good time, and when I stopped to rest, Tessa and David joined me. That Eric seems like great boyfriend material, Claire. Yeah, I guess he's nice. But you're still hoping to find the train guy, right? Oh my God. Tessa, please shut up.
Train guy?
Oh yeah, babe. This guy found Claire's bracelet on the train station, and they had this, electric romantic moment, but Claire left and never saw him again. She even tried looking for him, but nothing. I just wanted to magically disappear from the most humiliating moment of my life. Eric came just then and whisked me off to the dance floor. The next day, I was just really distracted at work. I broke 2 glasses, knocked over a jug of water, and then I bumped into a waiter, sending food flying everywhere. I was pretty sure I'd be fired. But that night got even worse when I suddenly noticed my bracelet was gone. I broke down into tears, and the staff helped me look all around the kitchen. The manager even let me stay back and search the restaurant once the customers were gone, but I didn't find it anywhere. Feeling crushed, I finally left and walked straight into someone outside.
Hey, what's wrong?
My bracelet! It's gone. It's the last birthday gift my dad gave me. David pulled me into a hug, and I buried my face in his shoulder. A minute later, he spoke.
Claire, you mean this bracelet?
I stepped back to see him taking off the bracelet stuck to my coat. Gosh, I feel so stupid. Thank you once again. And suddenly, last evening came rushing back to me. Listen, I did tell Tessa I met some guy, and I thought maybe we had something. But I was wrong. I've only ever thought of you as a friend since we met in school, and I don't like you that way, okay?
Well, that's disappointing.
Wait, what?
I would have looked for you myself, but I left town the next day. And when I saw you in school, I did remember you, Claire. I didn't say anything because what was the point? I'm with Tessa, and I've tried so hard not to like you that way either, but it's not working.
He pulled me closer, and my heart was pounding. He leaned in to kiss me, but I snapped back to my senses. No, I can't do this to Tessa. Please, don't follow me. And with that, I ran. How could I even come this close? I really wasn't looking forward to seeing David in school, but I found his seat empty. Tessa told me his dad was unwell and David had to go back to his hometown to take care of business. I thought he'd be back soon, but days turned into weeks and then months. The school year ended, and one day during summer break, Tessa called me to tell me she and David had broken up. What? Why? The long-distance relationship made us realize we weren't that good together. I'm sure we can still be good friends, but that's all we'll be now. I hardly knew what to say. I wanted to call him and ask him how he was doing, but I decided against it. A few weeks later at the restaurant, I walked over to a table to take someone's order, and I nearly fell back when I saw David sitting there. David, you're back. It's been so long.
Well, I'm here now. I guess you heard about me and Tessa?
Yeah, sorry it didn't work out.
It was the right thing for both of us. Claire, do you think that maybe...
Just then, Eric walked in and kissed me on the cheek.
Babe, is your shift almost over? Oh, hey man, you're back.
David tried to hide his shock as he realized I was dating Eric now. He'd asked me out a week after the dance. Suddenly, he got up to leave.
I just remembered something important. I'll see you guys in school.
Gosh, we really had the worst timing. Some weeks later on my 16th birthday, Eric turned up in a limo to take me to dinner. But when we got to this fancy restaurant, I was shocked to see my entire class there. It looked like he'd booked the whole place. But to top that, Eric jumped onto a chair suddenly, holding a mic.
Happy birthday to the most amazing girl. To show you how much you mean to me, I'm gonna embarrass myself now with this song I wrote for you.
He started singing, and I couldn't stop laughing. He was ridiculous. Just then, the mic suddenly died, and everyone heard David saying,
"What a loser."
There was a pin-drop silence as everyone turned to him, and Eric was furious.
Dude, is there a problem? Yeah, just one thing. I don't understand what Claire sees in you.
God, he was so rude. Before I could tell him off, Eric leapt forward and grabbed him by his collar. David pushed him back and he ended up falling in the cake. He attacked David again, and they both went crashing into another table. Oh my God, stop it! David, what's wrong with you? I pulled him outside.
Your boyfriend attacked me first.
You deserved it. What's your problem with Eric?
He's so annoying and lame, but I guess you like that. He's your Romeo.
I like him because he's sweet and caring
and really rich.
I suddenly slapped him hard. Did you just call me a gold digger? Gosh, you're being such a jerk.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. And I don't hate Eric. I just hate that I missed my chance with you again. I wished every day I'd followed you on that train, and things could be different.
Oh, so what was I in the middle of all this? A mistake? We turned around in horror to see Tessa behind us. So, you did find your train guy, Claire? And all this time we were together, you two were in love? Were you secretly making out? No, Tessa, of course not. Why should I believe you? You lied to my face for so long. I tried to stop her from leaving, but she pushed me to the ground. I'm done with both of you. She stormed off furiously, and I just went back inside. This was a nightmare. The next few weeks were awful. Tessa refused to talk to me. I refused to talk to David, and everything was a mess. Then Tessa didn't come to school for a couple of days, and I began to feel worried. I finally asked the teacher, and she told me Tessa and her sister had been in an accident. Oh my God! I went straight to the hospital and found Tessa in the waiting area. I rushed forward and hugged her tight, and she hugged me back. I'm okay, but my sister's in surgery. I'm just so glad you're here, Claire. I held her hand through it, and we were so relieved when the doctors told us she was going to be okay. We took a walk outside, and Tessa turned to me. Claire, how could you be so stupid? Why didn't you tell me David was the guy? You would have hated me even if I had, Tessa. And it doesn't matter now. I'm with Eric. Just listen to yourself, dummy. You're with Eric, but you're not in love with Eric.
I just ignored her. I wasn't hurting Eric now. I'd messed up things enough. A few weeks later, Eric was having a Christmas party at his place. When I came down all dressed up, Mom said a package had arrived for me. I opened it and gasped. There was a beautiful pair of earrings inside that perfectly matched my bracelet. A note fell out. This was supposed to be your birthday present. I'm really sorry for everything, Claire. I'm leaving tonight and I'll be transferring back to my old school. I hope you and Tess patch things up. David. What? I couldn't believe he was leaving for good. I went to the party with a heavy heart, and there I had another surprise waiting. Eric immediately pulled me into a room and popped out a freaking diamond ring. What are you doing?
Claire, let's just get engaged. My family would be so pleased if we announced it tonight. We won't get married right away, of course, but...
Eric, please stop. I can't.
He looked at me in shock. It's because of David, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. I don't want to be engaged. I don't want my life planned out for me. You're a great guy, but I'm not ready for this. I'm sorry. He quietly kissed me on the cheek and just left. And I immediately called an Uber to the train station. I looked around frantically for David, and just then I saw him climbing onto the train. As I hopped on after him and took his hand, he turned around in shock.
Claire, what are you doing here?
Taking a train ride with you? Also, I broke up with Eric. We're both single now, so what do you want to do about it? He smiled like the first time I saw him.
Do you think we could maybe get dinner sometime?
Finally! Yes! And he pulled me in for a kiss.
The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling.